Hi, and welcome back to our final reading for A Child Shall Lead, my special holiday story found in my collection Spider Stories, Tales of the Silent Pantheon. Let's begin. Anubis gripped his staff tighter as the Krampus chuckled into the silence. Well, Jackal, what do you think? You propose to take a god for a mortal? Anubis sneered. I would think that is beyond even your power, demon. And even if it were not, I would not trust you to keep your word. You think I lie? I cannot, the Krampus replied. I can only punish those who fail to uphold the meaning of this day. Or did you think I simply went after naughty children? No, Judge of the Dead. I do more. I come for those that have abandoned the ideas of charity and goodwill in their hearts. Those that embrace selfishness and solitude instead of celebrating the bonds that bind them to others. If you know me, you know I have done no such thing, Anubis snarled. I care for those in my charge, and I have protected multitudes across this world, even those with no faith in me. Oh, you have done that and more. But on this day, you are judged for more than simple good deeds. This is a day of brotherhood, and you have spurned those that would call you brother. How dare you? Do you not sit alone in your grand home, Anubis? Are you not here on this day of fellowship, while others set a place for you? You cling to old memories of a world long dead while a new one waits to welcome you at the table. Do I lie? You hold on to a world long past, Anubis, a family long buried and put into the ground. That would not be a sin by itself, no. But you push aside new family on a day when you should break bread and celebrate. That is a sin against you and this day. Anubis did not answer this time, as his grip on the staff loosened. The weight of the Krampus's words hung on him and weighed on his soul. The beast was right. How many Christmases had he spent alone before finding the other gods? The last of his kind, with no others to call friend or family, only the care of the dead to warm his soul. Then he had found them and he remembered family again, except for this day, once a year, when he forgot. Those that loved you before, Anubis, they would not have begrudged you. They would have wanted you to find family again, no matter where or how. And yet you chose to wallow in memories of the past, then you could have added to them. That is your worst sin, Anubis, the one that brings you to me, the sin against family. Jack looked as Anubis' staff fell from his hands and clattered on the floor. The jackal looked on ahead, his eyes wet and full of pain. Jack took a step towards the god, then the ground shook as cracks spread across the jackal. Jack backed away as the floor broke apart and chains shot out of the floor. They wrapped around Anubis' legs and arms, pulling him down. He did not fight them, but bent down to his knees soundlessly as Jack heard the clop of heavy hooves. You will be a prize indeed, the Krampus said, as it walked out of the shadows toward Anubis. The jackal looked up as the beast drew a long stick and dragged it against the ground. A punishment like this, well, there may be no bad children next year after all. Anubis did not answer as the Krampus raised the stick high and prepared to begin. Leave him alone, Jack cried out as he ran in front of Anubis. He didn't do anything. He has submitted to the trade, boy, Krampus said, and there is nothing you can do about it. Yes, there is, Jack cried out. You're here because of me, so punish me, not him. Now this is a change, the Krampus said. You wish to suffer for another, and yet you made your own family suffer because of your selfishness. Or do you think they felt nothing when you ran away? They felt panic and worry and fear, boy. You brought those guests to their holiday table, and everyone has suffered them, even the woman whose love you ran from. Why should I believe a child such as you now? Jack didn't answer first, but he heard a wheezing voice behind him. Jack, go. Run. No, I screwed up, the boy yelled, spreading his arms wide. I should be the one who pays for it, not him. The Krampus looked at both child and god and then grinned. He raised his stick high, and both Jack and Anubis prepared themselves for the blow. And it did not come. The lights flickered back on, revealing no chains on Anubis, and no Krampus before them. They looked around in confusion, neither one understanding. Where did it go? Jack asked. Is this a trick, or... I know a way to find out, Anubis said, as he touched the boy's shoulder, and then felt the kiss of cold air on his face. Both Jack and Anubis shivered, but Anubis stood up. The Krampus is gone. The power holding us there is gone, he said, trying not to shiver. I think now we have to make sure it doesn't come back. How do we... Oh, Jack said, as he looked across the way to see a house glowing with Christmas lights. On the porch, a man and a woman stood, looking out into the cold with faces of fear and worry that were illuminated only by the lights. They wait for you, Anubis said. How did you know where I am a god, Anubis said. Did I not say I could read your heart? Right. Jack looked across the way to the couple waiting in the cold. She's been there this whole time, hasn't she? It would seem so. Perhaps she is more worthy than you thought. I guess so, Jack said as he looked to face Anubis. I am sorry I brought all this to your house. Perhaps it was the way it should be, Anubis said. There are forces in this world beyond even gods, Jack. The boy nodded and asked, Do you think I'll ever see you again? There is at least one chance of it, Anubis said. Before that, anything is possible. For now, spend what is left of the day with those that care for you. Jack nodded, then turned from the jackal, and after a look, ran across the street. Anubis watched as the couple on the porch saw him, gaped in surprise, and then ran out to him, their worried faces filled with joy. They grabbed him and hugged him hard, and Anubis could see him hugging back. The jackal nodded, and then closed his eyes again. The plates of food were empty now, as the gods sat at the table, drinking the lone contribution of the mortal world to their feast. Coffee. Each one felt full of food, but also warm with the tribute they had shown each other. Now do I get why you do this every year, Loki said as he drank deeply of his mug. I haven't felt this good in centuries. You haven't felt anything in centuries, Coyote said as he lapped his coffee from a bowl. Would you like a straw, smartass? Loki asked, though he grinned as he did. It was a fine feast, Morgan said. A tribute worthy of anything they did for me back home. What did they do for you? Anufina asked. I thought men feared seeing you in battle. Aye, feared I'd be washing their bloody armor in the river. Men would sacrifice a lot to forego their deaths. Men often do, Kali said, though I imagine Anubis would know more about it. Shame he never comes. It is his choice, Balder said, though I think he only hurts himself by not coming. Each year he misses fine food and tribute. Then perhaps it's time I stopped. Balder and the others turned in their chairs to see Anubis standing there before them. The jackal god looked at the table and the empty plates sheepishly, and then added, If there's still time. The gods were so shocked they could not speak at first. Then Kali stood, smiled, and said, There's always time. Come and eat, Anubis. The jackal nodded, and as Morgan went to get a chair, he looked at the table. I know I have missed the feast, he said, but perhaps you would like dessert. Anubis waved his hand, and new platters appeared on the table. Golden brown harissa, cream-filled kunafa, and a round tray of omales steamed, filling the air with their sweet aroma. The gods that had been full before felt themselves grow hungry again. I hope I remembered them well, Anubis said, as he sat down to the chair Morgan had set. It's been a long time. I think Coyote says you did well, Balder said, as the trickster drooled at the desserts. But Anubis, we have no tribute for you. It does not matter, Anubis said. I have wasted enough time out in the cold. Let this make up for those years. Balder nodded, but Kali shook her head. She reached out and took Odin's bottle from the table. Holding it to her forehead, she muttered words and then passed it to Athena. The war goddess nodded and did the same. The bottle moved around the table, to each god to bless, until finally Balder passed it to Anubis. Drink, the Aesir said, and take our tribute. Anubis nodded and slowly took the bottle to his lips. As he drank the ale, he still felt the others take his food and eat with relish. Anubis felt the warmth of the drink and the blessing flow through him, and felt perhaps for the first time on this night, surrounded by family once again. Did it work? Can you not feel it? The Krampus hissed as he looked at the bar across the street. Is it good will? Is it charity? Radiates like a fire in a dark cave. Indeed it does, the figure said, as he pulled his red robes tight. You have done your work well tonight. Strange work, the Krampus said. I have never made them see their mistakes like this before. No, but you have redeemed them all the same. And that, too, is part of this day. Perhaps, but it is still odd. And why him? He's not even part of... It was the sun's wish. The sun? Why would he care? Because he wants none to be alone on his birthday. Not even a god. The figure patted Krampus on the back and said, Come. There's still much to do for next year. As you wish, Brother Nicholas. Thanks for being along with me. Happy holidays.